A Greater Sudbury youth has been sentenced for his role in a street racing death last spring. The need for speed resulted in the death of a Chelmsford teen.
British police have put an end to a major terrorist plot. The kidnappers were targeting a British soldier.
The lawyers for Stephen Truscott are working to have their client's name cleared. They are presenting their case to the Ontario Court of Appeal. And Xstrata and CAW Mine Mill Union have hours to work out a deal or their employees go on strike. More news in 10 minutes.
It is our most valuable possession. We protect it, nurture it, toast it. Sometimes it has the upper hand. Other times we do. We discuss it, debate it, prolong it, defy it. Some devote their lives to it. Others take it for granted. It can be absolutely overwhelming or utterly simple. Our health. Without it, we have nothing. With it, everything's possible. That's why we've added more services to Health Watch to help you manage your health in a new way. Only at Shoppers Drug Mart.
A winter adventure awaits you in the town of Hearst, February 14th to the 18th. It's our annual Winter Carnival, and you're invited to come and celebrate. Here are just some of the activities we're offering. Hockey tournament at the Claude LaRose Recreation Center, snowmobile races, adult rally and kids snow cross, snow sculpture competition and the Snow Palace, and an evening of folklore and more. We're looking forward to seeing you at the annual Hearst Winter Carnival, February 14th to the 18th.
Document theft can lead to identity theft. Prevent it with Green Circle Environmental's state-of-the-art paper shredding technology. Businesses have your valuable documents destroyed on site by our fully automated shredding truck. For a free estimate, call Green Circle today.
This is the collection agency calling. We still haven't heard a receipt.
The layoff will only last a few months.
There's a penalty and the surgery. This is the doctor's office. Your medical insurance only covers half of your coverage.
Your mortgage payment is late again.
Don't have any
Hey, the car needs a new transmission.
Your checking account is showing a negative balance.
Discrepancy on your tax return.
If you're in over your head financially, call Consumer Credit Counseling Service. We can help you get out.
Women, celebrate the active you with activewear from Itaka. Enjoy pure, comforting clothing from Pearl Izumi, Sugoi, Life is Good, Titanium, Columbia, and more. Itaka, downtown. Remember, it's the journey, not the destination, that counts.
Join Paul Godkin Saturday and Sunday for CTV News at 6 and 11:30. CTV News at 6.
No jail time. A Greater Sudbury teen is sentenced for his role in the street racing death of a 16-year-old boy.
Plot foiled. British police put an end to a proposed kidnapping with a disturbing outcome.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Rima and Caroline Bargu.
Good evening. It was a street race that ended with the death of a teenager. Now a Greater Sudbury driver with that need for speed has been sentenced.
Last spring, 16-year-old Patrick Herrard was struck by a car while riding his bicycle. The young driver of that vehicle was sentenced for dangerous driving causing death.
The victim's family is disappointed with the sentence, but the defense feels it was fair. CTV's Alana Everson has the story.
A 17-year-old too young to be named under the Youth Criminal Justice Act runs into the Sudbury courthouse. There, he was handed a sentence after pleading guilty to dangerous driving causing death. He was driving the car that struck and killed 16-year-old Patrick Herrard. The young offender was given 6 months house arrest. He's allowed to attend school and any job he may have. He gets 12 months probation and a 10-year driving prohibition. The defense says it's a fair punishment.
The principles of the Act having to deal with young persons, Youth Criminal Justice Act, are different principles than sentencing an adult person. And those principles plus the precedent, the case law that was presented to him, resulted in the sentence that was imposed, and it was an appropriate one.
But the victim's family disagrees. This is a picture of Patrick and his mother. Her son is a cherished memory now. She says justice was not served.
We had asked the Crown to make a difference, to take our example and make a difference and go that extra mile to show that we cannot street race and that we cannot take life as for us, it's like life has no meaning right now.
The defense says the young offender has no prior criminal record and has been distraught ever since that deadly night. He often cries himself to sleep and feels deeply remorseful.
Very significantly, the judge commented upon that, and it was clear and it was sincere.
But the victim's family says the sentence sends the wrong message at a time when the government is trying to deter the deadly game of street racing.
6 months deferred with the parents, I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. So we're very, very disappointed about the message that we're giving.
The Herards say they will push the Crown for an appeal. They want jail time for a crime that robbed them of time with their son, while the young offender responsible serves his sentence at home with his family. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
That tragedy and others like it across the province have raised the red flag on street racing. Police forces have launched an aggressive campaign targeting the activity. Greater Sudbury Police are taking part in Project Erase to curb thrill seekers and eliminate racing activity on streets everywhere. Officers will be on the lookout for drivers who modify their vehicles to enhance performance and high-risk driving behavior. As well, legislation has been modified to target street racing.
The thrill of street racing, unfortunately, people don't think ahead as to the circumstances of what could happen, as seen in this incident. So the last thing that we want to see is any more deaths in Sudbury as a result of street racing.
Emergency rooms are for emergency cases, but unfortunately there are still people who believe if they wait long enough they'll get to see a doctor. In Timmons, that's about to change. Doctors are now scaling back on some services to help keep the emergency department clear for emergencies. CTV's Lynn Bullock has more.
For most people, a trip to the emergency room is a last resort.
An accident, a fall, a heart attack, something really, really important that you need to be at the emergency immediately.
Unfortunately, it's the first choice for others when they want to see a doctor and don't want to wait.
We've become a catch-all basin for every patient, whether they have a family physician or not, whether it's an emergency or not.
That's why the hospital is now saying no to patients who come looking for services they should be getting elsewhere. From now on, you will not be able to get a pregnancy test, physical exam, return to work slip, or follow-up test results at the emergency department of Timmons and District Hospital. There will always be exceptions, but most say the new rules make sense, since the ER shouldn't be used for simple procedures like pregnancy tests.
If you really want to find out, then there's other places you can go, like the walk-in clinic, and they'll send you probably here downstairs at the 101 Mall to get a blood test and a urine sample.
If you have a family doctor, you should be going to your doctor for anything other than an emergency.
This problem isn't unique to Timmins or even Northern Ontario. It's increasing ER wait times across the province.
Wherever you have probably a community with one hospital and a sort of a decreased pool of family physicians, you probably have that emerge doing everything for everyone.
So next time you're feeling like an impatient patient, try to weigh all of your options. Figure out which doctor you should be seeing and how long you can wait without causing yourself or the emergency department any undue stress. Lynn Bullock, CTV News, Timmins.
If you aren't clear whether or not you should head to the emergency department, contact Telehealth Ontario. A registered nurse will assess your symptoms and give you advice. The telehealth number is 1-866-797-0000, but always use 911 if it's a true emergency.
Timmins and District Hospital will open 10 rehabilitation beds tomorrow. Rehab services will be provided to patients with complex medical problems such as stroke, Parkinson's disease, and muscle injuries.
An investigation into the deaths at the Soo Area Hospital has been completed. A committee set up by Ontario's chief coroner confirmed 10 people were killed by C. difficile. The bacteria also contributed to the deaths of 8 others. The committee was investigating 26 deaths at the hospital between April and November 2006. C. difficile was ruled out as a factor in 8 deaths.
Well, flying a kite just got a little more interesting. This weekend, dozens of people will be strapping skis or snowboards to their feet as they kite their way from the shores of Lake Nipissing to North Bay's Manitou Islands. Now, CTV's Linda Holmes tells us the sport of traction kiting is really starting to take off.
There are kites, and then there are kites. Daniel Kaminsky and his 16-year-old daughter Sonia spend as much free time as they can traction kiting. It's also known as snow kite surfing. They find the sport both challenging and exhilarating.
Oh, it's crazy. At the starting, you really don't get a good idea of how much power there is in the kite. And then once you get going, especially on the snow, you get going so quick and you can just like lean back and touch the snow as you go by.
This weekend, the pair will be slipping on some skis for the inaugural Ontario Traction Kiting Sports Festival.
It's a lot easier to go with skis because if the kite falls or if the wind dies or something, it's a lot easier to move around and stuff. But hopefully by the end of the winter, I'll be on a snowboard.
The event includes a 25-kilometer race around the Manitou Islands, which should take up to 3 hours to complete. Given the right wind speed, these kite surfers could be clipping along the snow at speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour.
The speed also depends on ice conditions and the size of the kite.
The big kites can go in as low as 5 kilometers per hour, which is amazing, which is very good. And a smaller kite can handle up to close to 50, which is very windy by then.
When winds get that strong, there's a certain element of danger to the sport.
If something goes wrong, the kite has a lot of power. It can pull you very fast, very far, and into trees or whatever. So you have to, when you get behind the kite, it's a responsibility. You have to know what you're doing.
This is Sonia's first winter kite surfing, so she's looking forward to the festival, which will bring in competitors from across the province.
I'm not taking it really competitively, I'm just kind of trying to have fun. It's my first time, so I mean, you just gotta have fun with it and have a good time.
Those who are good enough can always set their sights on world-class competitions. Linda Holmes, CTV News, North Bay.
Ed Shively and his son Cody have been planning to leave for a 10-day trek across Lake Superior, but some communication issues have grounded the outdoorsmen. The duo is currently in Soo, Michigan. Some recurring problems with their satellite phone has them wondering just when they'll depart for Duluth, Minnesota by way of snowshoes and a pair of kayaks that have been turned into a catamaran.
The Soo Winter Carnival is only a few days away. Many sculptors and other volunteers will be burning the midnight oil to get everything ready for Friday. The winter playground is a big attraction. The theme this year is snowmen having a snowball fight with participation. The head sculptor says the kids will get a kick out of the slides this year.
The 21 slides is about average what we've done previous years, except there's more curves on this one this year. There's about 5 curves and some really wide ones this year, which is a whole new experience in riding.
Well, there's more local news coming up. First, Danielle has a quick look at current weather conditions. Danielle?
Thank you, Caroline. Well, it's pretty clear right now in most of our viewing area, but Parry Sound actually saw about 19 centimeters of snow this morning because of that lake effect snow and snow squalls. Now, you got a break from that this afternoon, saw some sunshine. However, the winds are shifting back again, and it's going into another westerly direction. So Parry Sound, you can see another 10 centimeters tonight, as well as Huntsville. Let's take a look, though, now at current temperatures. And Sault Ste. Marie, -7 right now. So we're getting into seasonal temperatures pretty much across our entire viewing area. And as we head north in the -teens, -16 in Kapuskasing, Cochrane, -15 in Timmins, -17 in Kirkland Lake, -18 in Rouyn-Noranda, and that does come with some clear skies right now. North Bay, you could see up to 5 centimeters of snow tonight, and again, Huntsville, Parry Sound, up to 10 centimeters tonight. So if you can stay off the roads, that would be a really good idea because they're not going to be very nice tonight. Sudbury, -12 with some flurries tonight later, and Espanola, again, could see up to 10 centimeters as well. So definitely a busy night on the roads tonight. -10 in Elliott Lake right now, and -4 in Gorbey, so almost balmy in Gorbey. That's your first look at weather. More weather details later in the hour.
Thanks, Danielle. A Huntsville man is fighting to keep his cats in his home. That might sound a little strange. After all, cats are pretty common pets.
But these are no ordinary household animals. As CTV's Amanda Anderson explains, the furry creatures have created quite a stir.
This is 5-month-old Sadie.
She's one of 2 cougars Chris Chapman owns. While she may appear to make a cute pet, the town of Huntsville doesn't think so. An exotic pet bylaw has forced Chapman to move the animals out of town, and his first attempt to get his animals exempt was unsuccessful.
Security for the public and security for the animals, and that's their main concern is safety, and I can understand that. We'll work with them. We're willing to, abide by whatever they can set forth for guidelines.
There are legitimate reasons to have exotic animals, but in our experience, the vast majority of exotic pet owners don't have the resources or the knowledge base to look after the animals properly and to keep the public safe.
Chapman, however, says he does, and while he understands the risk of owning such large cats, it's one he's willing to take.
As with any animal, there's a risk involved of it biting you or, being in a bad mood one day, but it's just a trust that you get with them and a respect that you share.
But someone like Gino, who's looked after thousands of animals, including this cougar, disagrees.
No matter how much you think you know the animal, no matter how young it was when you started to raise it, we're dealing with wild creatures, and they're very unpredictable and potentially dangerous.
This bobcat, Rufus, may look a little bit more like a house cat than the cougar did, but it's still capable of taking down a 200-pound deer in the wild, and he's just one example of the hundreds of animals rescued a year by the Wildlife Center. The Wildlife Center works with various agencies to provide temporary refuge for these types of creatures. Meanwhile, Chapman says he'll do whatever it takes to keep his cats with his family permanently, even if it means leaving his life in Huntsville behind. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Huntsville.
So you want one of those?
I do. I've been gushing. Those are really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Wild animals.
Yes, I know. All right, working on a deal, Xstrata and the union representing production and maintenance staff in Sudbury are still at it.
And also coming up, cameras in the courtroom, a first for Ontario. We'll have more from the Ontario Court of Appeal in Toronto in a few minutes.
Stéphane Dion says the Liberals will clean up the environment.
We will be back and we will do the job.
But even Liberals know they didn't do it when they had the chance.
Stéphane, we didn't get it done.
Under the Liberals, greenhouse gas emissions went up, not down.
We didn't get it done.
Our environment ranked 28th out of 29.
What stopped us? Why didn't we do better?
The Liberals had 13 years to get it done. Let's not go back. A message from the Conservative Party of Canada.
Sturgeon Falls Auto Sports and Marine, where power and fun come together. We are your go-to center in the north for Arctic Cat ATVs, sleds, and accessories. And check this out. With our new Toilies program, you can drive a new Arctic Cat sled in the winter and exchange it for a new Arctic Cat ATV or Prowler in the spring with just one easy payment. Arctic Cat, more to go on. Find it all at Sturgeon Falls Auto Sports and Marine in Sturgeon Falls.
We're canvassing for Heart Month across the north in February, and you can too.
Become a Heart Month volunteer like us.
Call your local Heart and Stroke Foundation today.
Help the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Volunteer today. Proudly supported by CTV.
And see what happens when you put your heart into it.
Pets of the Week is brought to you by McDougall Fuels, your heating oil and propane experts.
Pandora, a 7-year-old spayed female, is ready for a calm and quiet lifestyle. A big softie at heart, she enjoys fluffy pillows, soft blankets, and a warm lap to curl up on. If you prefer a more extroverted cat, 1-year-old Stevie is more than willing to play with you. Energetic and high-spirited, she needs a home filled with children to keep her happy.
Brought to you by the fine people at McDougall Fuels.
Clothing considerations for CTV News, provided by Joe Lasar Menswear.
You think there's not a lot?
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Corner Gas Season 3 on DVD. Available now.
Hi everyone, I'm Andre Corbeil. Coming up in sports, Grayson spent the day at the Steelback Center and files a Greyhound stretch run report. And Ashley hit the hills of Kamoskosha and features a top northern border. The sports story later in the hour.
A major major anti-terrorist operation in Britain, and if unconfirmed reports are true, those arrested this morning were planning a chilling new approach to causing terror.
It's being widely reported in Britain that the plan was to kidnap a British citizen, a soldier, torture and execute him on camera. CTV's Tom Kennedy reports.
The raids began at 4 in the morning local time. At least a dozen addresses, 9 people arrested, and then leaks from police sources. The suspects were planning to kidnap a British soldier, videotape his execution, and then post the images on the internet. And this would not happen in Baghdad or another Iraqi city, but right in Britain. Officially, police refuse to confirm it, but do hint this operation is different than others.
I'm very conscious that there has been considerable speculation about this operation. And I fully understand that. In every sense, this is a big story for you. It is a very big operation for West Midlands Police.
In Iraq, the terror of kidnap and murder is grimly familiar, and Britons have suffered. Ken Bigley, an engineer, beheaded there in 2004. It horrified his country, but now it seems Britain may be faced with the same kind of terror at home.
Al-Qaeda worked very hard in recent months to transfer methods and techniques from Iraq to other countries, and the UK is one of those countries.
It's believed all suspects are British, most even born here. In the Muslim community, there is widespread disbelief. One man who says he's the cousin of one suspect says police have made a mistake.
I'm saying to you, 120% he will be released because I know he hasn't done anything.
Britons know they are a target. There were the bombings of the transit system 18 months ago, several other plots uncovered by police before they happened. But the idea that Iraqi-style kidnap and murder could become part of the domestic threat, it is new, more difficult to detect. A chilling development, according to police. They are at what they call the foothills of a major investigation. Tom Kennedy, CTV News, London.
Stephen Truscott's lawyers have begun their work to have their client's conviction overturned, and the case is for all to see. Cameras are broadcasting the proceedings of the Ontario Court of Appeal for the first time. Truscott was a teenager when he was sentenced to death for the 1959 rape and murder of his 12-year-old schoolmate. Truscott has professed his innocence from the beginning. Here's CTV's Austin Delaney.
Well, we've been waiting for a long time, so it's good to get to this point.
It has been 48 years for Stephen Truscott. He was just 14 when the Clinton, Ontario boy was convicted of raping and murdering 12-year-old Lynn Harper. Her body was found in a woodlot. Witnesses said they last saw Harper alive, taking a ride on the back of Truscott's bike. The 14-year-old was sentenced to hang for her murder. That sentence was later commuted to life in prison, and Truscott was paroled in 1969. It has been a long road, and today Truscott begins the process of attempting to be exonerated in the Court of Appeal.
One thing that's kept you going all of these years.
It's right here, my wife and my family. So, and all the supporters all over the country. I'm nervous.
Truscott now has on his side lawyer James Lockyer, who specializes in cases of the wrongly accused. He is nervous, he says. Lockyer's victorious trials often involve the use of modern-day science, a piece of DNA to prove innocence rather than guilt. But in a televised broadcast of the court proceedings today, Lockyer said the DNA in this case has been destroyed over time.
Sometimes the advent of DNA can work like a magic bullet, but its absence, of course, renders it no less likely that there was a miscarriage of justice in this case. It just makes it a harder proposition to establish.
Lockyer told the court Truscott, who had been living a quiet life with his family, stepped back into the limelight after hearing of the David Milgaard case. Milgaard spent 22 years in prison for a murder he did not commit.
That report from CTV's Austin Delaney. As much as this case is about one man, it's also about opening up the court process to Canadian television viewers. CTV's John Lancaster reports on this history-making event.
He's feeling nervous today, and he thought you'd probably feel the same. To what extent are you?
A wall of television and newspaper photographers greeted Stephen Truscott outside the Osgoode Hall courts today, anxious to cover both Truscott's near 50-year bid to clear his name and Canadian First cameras in an appeal court.
We've always been for everything to be wide open. As taxpayers, everybody should be hold on, easy guys. Should be glad to have it open.
And at exactly 10:34 a.m., history was made.
This court is now in session.
The familiar call to session, issued thousands of times every day in Ontario's courts, but never before heard live on television. The courtroom itself has been transformed into a mini television studio, complete with a control room, switchers, and 3 cameras for 3 different angles for the Crown, the judges, and defense. While it may not be a ratings hit, it's a step into the 21st century for a court system historically opposed to cameras in the court. As Truscott himself said, it's a move long overdue and necessary for a court system that may have convicted an innocent man and robbed him of his freedom.
Well, of course, it brings us here today, and for...
Even Chief Justice Roy McMurtry appeared acutely aware of the cameras inside his court, giving viewers at home a brief history of the case.
Well, it's crunch time. With the strike deadline in less than 6 hours, negotiators for Xstrata and the union representing its production and maintenance workers in the Sudbury area are still at it. CTV's Gord Nichols is at the hotel where both sides are hunkered down. Hi, Gord. What's the latest?
Well, the clock is ticking 6 hours before the midnight deadline for picket lines to be raised at Xstrata nickel operations in the Sudbury area. The two sides' bargaining teams are still at the same Sudbury hotel where they've been meeting off and on since mid-December, much more intensely in the last week and a half. There have been some high-level meetings earlier today between a high-ranking official with CAW, the assistant to the national president, and the vice president of Xstrata Nickel. As a result of those discussions, the two sides are scheduled to meet at this hour. We're hearing that the company has a new offer to give to the union. Neither side will discuss what they think about that process. The company officials saying that they don't talk about specifics of negotiations. They don't negotiate in the media. And the union saying that they'll have to wait and see to find out what that offer contains. In any case, it would appear that the pressure is on, the time is ticking, because the picket lines will go up at 12:01 Thursday morning, just after midnight tonight, if a deal hasn't been reached. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Gord. CTV's Gord Nichols reporting from the Xstrata CAW mine mill talks in Sudbury.
All right, and Danelle is here with a look at weather. Danelle, today was a little nicer.
Yeah, we're back to seasonal temperatures, but we have another problem. There's lots of snow on the way, so we're going to have to be careful on the roads tonight. Okay. That means you, Caroline. I've seen her sometimes.
That means you, Danelle.
Yeah. I'll have details for you that right on the... What? I meant to say I'll have details for you on that right after the break.
That's
now a quick look at the rest of Canada. 8 degrees in Victoria, which I'm jealous because it's sunny there as well. But minus 20 in Winnipeg, so quite cool. Minus 11 in Thunder Bay, and that comes with some snow. We'll see that tonight in our viewing area. And as we head over to the east, it's quite cool over there, below seasonal. And do you prefer more balmy temperatures? My travel destination hotspot pick this week, brought to you by All Seasons Travel, is Nassau, Bahamas, where it's 22 degrees and mostly clear skies. All your local weather details after the break. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm a PC.
And I'm a Mac.
Hey, Mac, why so down?
It's because you're so much better than me, PC.
Aw, there, friend.
It's no use. You're first class all the way, PC.
Yeah, but I read somewhere that you're getting more popular all the time. Now, is that true?
No, totally untrue.
I thought so.
Wow.
What's going on? What the? Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Hey, I'm a big fan.
Another fresh moment from Subway restaurants. Introducing the new chicken and salsa sandwich from Subway restaurants. Made with thick and chunky salsa, it's the fresh taste you've been looking for. Available for a limited time. Subway. Eat fresh.
Ready, set, go. World-class mushers from across North America compete for thousands of dollars in cash during the Lions annual Snowflake Festival. Man and animal team up in a race against time. Exciting action, and you can witness the end results. Join us at the Marks Day Warren Challenge, the Champ Sled Dog Race, February 24th and 25th. For more information, log on to mwctc.ca or call 1-866-710-1065. Brought to you by these participating sponsors: Ontario, yours to discover, and True 802 Wireless.
Okay, that's some flat hair. Honey,
That move's good for nothing unless you're getting paid. Face it, you're 5'2", but your hair's 6 feet under. Yellow! Hey, Dad. Sunsilk, anti-flat, get Harapy.
For a Valentine's Day that truly shines, enter your name for a chance to win this romantic Valentine's package. Limo transportation from Estate Limousine. Flowers for the lady from Ball Florist and Direct. For the man, a blazer from HR Lash Limited. Dinner for two at Grand Festa Restaurante. And an overnight stay at the Super 8 Motel on Great Northern Road. Make it a Valentine's Day to remember. Visit any of these locations and fill out a ballot. Draw date February 12th. Proudly supported by CTV.
Just Lube's Oil Change Center say, thank you. Thank you for 20 years of trusting your mode of transportation to us. After 1 million oil changes, we're expanding to serve you better. Our services are warranty approved for new imports and domestic vehicles, featuring Quaker State lubricants. Now with a new location to serve you in Huntsville. Just Lube's in your neighborhood, providing warranty approved oil changes in 15 minutes. No appointment necessary. Stop by for a visit anytime.
The rookie delivers.
Yeah! 10-0. Thanks for showing me how it's done.
She's the #1 draft choice.
She's the best in Dog River.
She's not the best. Brent's the best.
Brent's the best. He's king of the knobs.
Get ready for the biggest series ever in Dog River's table hockey history. And all new Corner Gas Monday at 8, 7 Central on CTV. You can catch Corner Gas on demand on the CTV broadband network at ctv.ca.
The weather is brought to you by Bay Mills Resort and Casino.
Hi, welcome back. Well, tonight, snow squall warnings for parts of our viewing area, up to 10 centimeters of snow in some parts as well, and there is a little bit of a warm-up. We're seeing seasonal temperatures. Let's take a look at the satellite radar map. 2 low pressure systems to talk about. We have one moving in from the U.S. We also have one moving in from the prairies, and that's creating those perfect conditions for that lake effect snow and lake effect snow squalls. Let's take a look at where we have the warnings right now. Perry Sound, Gravenhurst. Gravenhurst, you're pretty much out of it right now, but Perry Sound and Huntsville is where you can see that, and as well right into the Bruce Peninsula. And even Wawa, you may see it tonight, so you definitely want to be careful on the roads anyways. Let's take a look at the future radar map. Wawa, you can see the snow already starting to move in. And take a look at Perry Sound, because in the next couple hours, more snow will be moving in, and then you'll see it move throughout our viewing area throughout the day tomorrow. So definitely lots of snow in the forecast. Let's take a look, though, what you can expect in your area tonight. Sault Ste. Marie, -12 is your expected overnight low with a chance of flurries. And with the wind chill feeling like -28 in Timmons, so it's still quite cold. Up in Timmins, North Bay, Timiskaming Shores, 5 centimeters of snow is what you can expect tonight, and up to 10 centimeters in Muskoka, Perry Sound, as well as Huntsville with the snow squalls as well. And Sudbury, some flurries, maybe even some heavier snow tonight. -14 is your expected overnight low. Now tomorrow, 5 to 10 centimeters, and that's mostly in Wawa, Chapleau, maybe even Sault Ste. Marie expected for tomorrow. Up to 2 centimeters for Kirkland Lake and Timiskaming Shores, but Kapuskasing, Timmins, and Cochrane, you should just see some flurries. Now, for Sudbury and North Bay, you can expect about, I think, 5 centimeters by tomorrow, and then as well some snow, maybe up to 10 centimeters for Perry Sound and Huntsville tomorrow. -5 is your expected daytime high, so at least you're into seasonal temperatures. 5-day forecast starting with Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma. Thursday, you'll see some sunshine, but you'll also see some flurries. -7 is your expected daytime high. Now, by Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can see across the board for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, snow squalls. So definitely for the next 4 days, you want to be careful on the roads, even in the overnight hours, because it will be cold. And we still have those conditions that can give us that lake effect snow and snow squalls. By Monday, though, that should clear out, and you should see some sunshine, but as well cooler temperatures. Timmins, Kapuskasing, some flurries for Thursday, possibly heavier snow for Friday. -9 is your expected daytime high, and then -19, so 10 degrees cooler by Saturday. So cooler weekend, but you get some sunshine out of it, and sunshine sticking around for the start of the work week. -28, though, is your expected daytime high, which is, of course, below seasonal. North Bay, Timiskaming Shores, heavier snow for Thursday, up to 10 centimeters, and then possibly heavier snow for Friday as well. And then then that should taper off to flurries for Saturday and Sunday, but cooler temperatures, as you see, -11, which is below seasonal, and of course -13 below seasonal, and then -22 by Monday. So we're going to get that cool down again, but at least you'll see some sunshine by Monday. Muskoka, Parry Sound, heavier snow for Thursday, possibly some snow squalls, and then again heavier snow for Friday. Saturday, Sunday, snow squalls as well as a risk, so you definitely want to be careful on the roads for the next 5 days and give yourself extra time in your travels for the next 4 days pretty much. Monday though, some sunshine, -16 is your expected daytime high. Sudbury, Knucklebelt, Thursday up to 10 centimeters of snow, and then Friday you may see heavier snow as well. But by the weekend, some sunshine, some cooler temperatures as well, -24 by Monday. And our weather helper today is Nicholas. He's in grade 3 in Sudbury. Thank you very much for that, Nicholas. If you want to be our weather helper, please send your picture to this address, or you can email it to this address. I'll be back later in the hour with entertainment and your wake-up weather. Stay with us.
Lifestyles brought to you by Extendicare, your choice for long-term care services, offering a variety of rehab programs across the north. Extendicare, where your wellness matters.
It comes out once a year. The Heart and Stroke Foundation has released its annual report on Canadians' health. This year, it focuses on a gender gap. It appears women are at greater risk of dying following a cardiovascular event. The key now is to find out why. CTV's Sasha Novak has the details.
It's Canada's leading cause of death, and research shows it's claiming the lives of more and more women.
One of the major things that have been noticed is that the number of heart attacks in men and women are now equal, whereas 20 years ago, the men were having far more cardiac deaths than women were.
Baird says it will take even more research to find out what's causing this gap, because right now, it's still not clear.
There could be biological causes, hormonal causes, something that is physically different about women than men that causing this difference to happen. It could be that there's social or economic factors.
It's expected that almost 37,000 Canadian women will die of heart disease and stroke this year. The good news is there are ways women can improve their heart health.
They can make themselves aware of the signs and symptoms of heart disease and stroke, and they can take action in their own prevention. They can talk to their doctor, make sure they have a formed conversation with him. If they have a history of heart disease and stroke in the family, make sure that they talk to that doctor about it.
Meantime, the Heart and Stroke Foundation is doing what it can to address the issue. That includes developing a national information and awareness campaign and funding gender-specific research. Sasha Novak, CTV News, Sudbury.
It appears Northerners love their cigarettes. Smoking rates in this part of Ontario is higher than the provincial average. Many of those smokers are parents. As CTV's Cindy Males tells us, there's a program in North Bay that's helping parents to quit before they really harm their children.
Richard Dumo wants to quit smoking, and his daughter Amelia is one of the reasons why.
I do smoke outside now. We just actually started like 2 months ago to smoke outside because I've seen all the commercials and that, and it was grossing me out, and I'd like my kids to grow up.
The Family Enrichment Program offers parenting resources, high school credits, and childcare all at the same time, and it sees the effects smoking can have on the families who come here.
Generally speaking, we see the effects of smoking on families through increased amounts of respiratory problems. And so with that comes absenteeism from the program.
Then last October, the Family Enrichment Program decided to do something to encourage its parents to quit smoking. It invited the local health unit in to make a presentation on the dangers of secondhand smoke. And a partnership between the program and the health unit was born. The Family Enrichment Program pays for the nicotine replacement, patch, or gum, and health promoter Melanie Sims counsels the parents as they try to quit. It's that support that helps prevent relapse.
The clients can call me when they're struggling or to talk about their aid or if they need to change their patch. It gives somebody that they feel is knowledgeable. I can answer their questions, they feel more secure, and they feel like they can continue on with their quit attempt, which is half the battle when you're quitting smoking.
So far, 4 women from the program and 2 of their partners have kicked the habit. Now Dumo is willing to give it a go.
I'm gonna start the patch, try to anyways, and see how that goes.
Dumo knows it won't be easy, but he's convinced his children's health will be worth the effort. Cindy Males, CTV News, North Bay.
Coming up, fleeting freedom. A Greater Sudbury man didn't get too far from the long arm of the law.
And later, spending more time on the bus. Kids in the Algoma district could be traveling farther for their education. That story is coming up.
Don't break it! You can return it now. Get your deposit back. No! Those two! They're all recycled. More recycling means a greener Ontario!
Starting February 5th, you can return your empty wine, beer, and spirit containers to the beer store. It's a trip worth making.
There is so much fun and excitement here at Kuwaitan Casino.
Kuwaitan Casinos is a great place for entertainment.
Huge events that we do at all 5 casinos.
A lot of people come out for the shows.
The atmosphere, the people.
Kuwaitan Casino treats it real well.
People enjoy this area. They say people are really friendly here. Kuwaitan means up north. Our hospitality is here for you.
All you need to know is there's a lot of fun in this place.
We'd love to see you at the Kuwaitan Casinos. You'll have lots of fun.
When it comes to adrenaline, why settle for just a shot when you can get a full dose? Dodge Nitro. Get your boost. With an available 255 horsepower V6, performance-tuned suspension, and MyGig multimedia infotainment system, the energy just can't be contained. Dodge Nitro. Get your boost.
These days, a $2,000 balance on a credit card is quite common. Did you know that on some cards, if you only make the minimum payments, it'll take you up to 30 years to pay it off? And you can pay over $7,000 just in interest. Make sure you know what your debt is costing you. Compare interest rates on credit cards and always try to make more than the minimum payment. In the long run, you can save thousands of dollars.
A message from Credit Counseling Services, serving Sault Ste. Marie for over 35 years. Our service is free and confidential. Call us. We can help.
Warm up this winter with a Regency fireplace from Northern Fireplace and Pools. Regency gas or wood fireplaces combine quality and style to fit any room or decor. And until February 19th, you can save with rebates up to $300 on Regency products. Northern Fireplace and Pools also carry pool tables, infrared saunas, and classic and retro stoves and fridges from Elmira Stoveworks. No power? No problem. The 86% efficient Europa multi-fuel stove works without power. See it all at Northern Fireplace and Pools, 7 Oxford Street.
Sudbury Police would like to thank the public in helping to locate a suspect. They had been looking for Marcus Sutherland. He faces several charges, including criminal harassment and 4 counts of breach of probation. Sutherland turned himself in to police after his picture aired on CTV Northern Ontario.
Students at Laurentian University are taking a stand against tuition fee hikes. They call it freezing for the fees. These frustrated students plan to spend 7 days and nights outside in the bitter cold to raise awareness about their struggles to pay for higher education.
It's actually kind of sad that we have to go to these drastic measures to protest against tuition fee hikes and protest against what our government's doing to our students. But I think that it's really good that we're mobilizing as a group at Laurentian University and creating awareness on our campus so that people really understand what's going on.
Old is out and new is in. A consolidation of public schools in Sault Ste. Marie could see many students move to nearby facilities. CTV's Evie Cuervo reports.
School's out, and Ben Tonen is having some after-school fun. He is one of more than 500 students attending Bowading Collegiate. Tonen says he loves his school, but he knows it's in bad shape.
Some parts of the upper and lower hallways, the ceiling tiles are always cracked and destroyed, and holes in doors and things like that, lockers busted in.
Because schools like this cost more to fix, the Algoma District School Board wants to consolidate aging schools and build brand new facilities.
If we can align ourselves and say this is the plan we want for our board and our communities, then we'll go to the ministry to get approval and ask for their financial support to make it happen.
The Algoma District School Board hopes to build around 80 new schools to replace the ones that are too expensive to repair. So far, 20 facilities are set to be on the chopping block, including Bowading Collegiate. But changes will not happen overnight. Once the board receives public input, a 9-month review process is required before taking action. Evie Cuervo, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
There's new law for landlords and tenants in Ontario. The Residential Tenancies Act came into effect today. It sets the rules for most rental housing in Ontario, including guidelines for rent increases. The Ontario Rental Housing Tribunal has also been renamed the Landlord and Tenant Board. It can provide information about the changes.
Yes, the big ones would be, first of all, there'd be no more default evictions, which means that every hearing that for an application we receive, the client will either get an opportunity for mediation or a face-to-face hearing. The second
fistful of winning lottery tickets. It sounds too good to be true. And unfortunately, for one Ontario steelworker,